Hi, my name is Barry Sterling Mitchell. I produce the Sterling Net Point Power Rankings and the Bias Plus Reports. Today is September 24th, 2025, and this is Ben and Barry on football.
Hello out there, everybody. This is Ben Dickerson. I am your co-host. Real quick, the New York Yankees have clinched the playoff spot. Hip, hip, hooray for the Yankees. My New York Liberty has been eliminated from the WNBA playoffs. They have also fired their coach, so I'm looking forward to
Oh, they
see who the
fired the
new coach
coach. I
is.
didn't know that.
Yeah, they fired the coach. She was having trouble getting them up for games. It's a long story. We don't want to talk too much about that. Your Aces are tied 1-1 with the Fever. I was
With
hoping
the
they would sweep
favorable
them.
people, right?
I was hoping they would sweep them because I can't stand the Fever.
Uh,
I hate the Fever. Especially, I like the players that are currently playing, but there's two chicks that are injured on the bench that are a pain in everybody's behind.
Everybody,
Everybody.
that's presumptuous, Mr.
Is it?
Dickerson.
You think
That's
so?
presumptuous. Hey,
The internet
not a
never
pain,
lies.
not a pain in mine, and I would be included in everybody, right?
The internet never lies.
Well, the internet never lies.
Yeah, you never heard that one?
Famous
And the
last
Lynx,
falsehoods.
the Lynx, the clear cut number one team for the entire season, is in a battle with the Phoenix Mercury, which is the team that knocked the Liberty out. They're also tied 1-1. That's going to be a really, really good
Did you
series.
see that comeback?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, man. I was like, holy mackerel. I kept looking up and the number got smaller. Next thing I know, they're in overtime. I was like,
Yeah, that chick
oops.
Whitcomb hit some big ones, big shots.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Yeah, some good WNBA stuff going on out there. We are going to jump pretty much into looking at week 4, Benny, because it is upon us. We got some special things happening, the international game and all of that kind of good stuff. I added a little wrinkle to the presentation, and I hope it'll bring some additional awareness, knowledge to everything that we do. So, um, without further ado, ready to go?
Absolutely.
All right, Benny. So this would be Thursday night, right?
Yes.
NFC West contest, Seahawks at Cardinals. Bias plus score of 7.2 favors the Seahawks. Now, notice there are 4 footballs back there. So this is week 4 that we're going into, and theoretically, we would say this would be the end of the second preseason. It wouldn't go any further than 4 games. So things just really start to smooth out for these teams uh, in the upcoming weeks and from this point on, really. So Seahawks
So
and Cardinals, but look at this. Here's your numbers based on the Sterling Net Point Power rankings and some areas that we keep an eye on. So for that Seahawks Cardinals, you're seeing that you got a number 2 ranked as far as average net point team against a number 13 ranked in the average net points. It looks like Seahawks are putting up 29 points a game. The Cardinals are giving up 17, but they're only putting up 19, and the Seahawks are only allowing 15. So you can kind of see just based on what they do why we favor the Seahawks. What do you got on that?
Oh, by the way, I wanted to ask you. So when you said it's the end of the preseason, are we
Second
saying this
preseason.
is the end? This week is the end of the extended preseason, or the extended preseason ended last week and we're into the real regular season now?
Well, I know it's kind of pushing it to say it's 4 weeks would be the second preseason. We go take it into
That's
4.
what I was thinking.
But I'm gonna push it. I'm gonna push it. I think that we saw in week 3 some of those changes that'll really show up in week 4. But everybody kind of by this week will kind of know where everybody else is really at for real, for real.
Uh, I tell you what, the way this season's been going, and I know it is early, I still think it's too early for some teams to have really shown us who they are. Some have, but there's quite a few who haven't. So we still got a lot of interesting games coming up. So let's talk about Seahawks having to travel to Arizona and play the Cardinals. So last week the Seahawks hammered the Saints at home in Seattle. They crushed them 44-13. My man Sam Darnold tossed 2 touchdown passes, one to Jackson Smith and Jigba, and one to rookie wideout Torrey Holton. Running back Kenny Walker III punched in 2 touchdowns on the ground, and special teams chipped in also with a blocked punt, a 95-yard punt return also by rookie wideout Horton, and Jason Myers kicked 3 field goals. One of those was a 56-yarder. So big win for the Seahawks over the Saints. Now the Cardinals lost to the Niners on the road, and that was a pretty poorly played game. I don't know if you would agree with that, but to me, it just was sort of kind of just a sloppy game. The first 3 quarters of the game was a punt fest until both teams finally found their way to the end zone in the fourth quarter. So the first 3 quarters of the game, yeah, it was pretty messy. Kyler Murray's touchdown pass to Trey McBride tied it up at 13, and then a holding call on the Niners in the end zone on the next possession gave the Cardinals a safety and the lead at 15-13. Of course, the best thing about getting a safety is the other team has to kick the ball right back to you, and they usually give you good field position, and things usually go well after that. So the Cards got the ball back with 3:15 left in regulation, but they couldn't close the game out. They couldn't hang on to the ball, had to punt, and they ended up losing to the Niners on a field goal as time expired. Final score 16-15. By the way, James Conner's out for the season with a really bad foot injury requiring surgery. That being said, they're going to miss Conner. Defense is a little shady. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Seahawks on this one. Again, NFC West, these divisional matchups are turning out to be really screwy, but I am going to go with the Seahawks.
Sam Darnold, eh?
Yes, sir.
All right. Next up, and this I believe is this Sunday morning, Benny, in Ireland?
Okay. 9:30.
Vikings at Steelers buys plus score of 6 favors the Vikings. Wentz being favored over Aaron. Ho, ho, ho. The Vikings are ranked 5th in net points. They're winning by an average margin of 8.3 points, while the Steelers are ranked 19th, and their average net point is actually on the negative, minus 1.7. So I'm not going to beat it up too much. Long story short, Steelers are 13th on offense and 22nd on defense, and the Vikings are 6th and 10th, respectively. So Vikings, Steelers, who you got?
All right, this is kind of crazy. The Vikings got embarrassed at home the week before playing against the Falcons, but they sure enough turned it around and took it to the Bengals on Sunday. Carson Wentz got the start, didn't look too bad. He led a balanced offensive attack. He threw 2 touchdown passes, but the defense was outstanding in this one, actually. That's funny. As great as the Falcons defense looked against the Vikings defense looked just as great in this game against the Bengals. They had 4 sacks, 7 tackles for loss. They forced 5 fumbles and recovered 3 of them. A lot of hitting going on out there. And they intercepted Jake Browning twice. Cornerback Isaiah Rodgers, Philadelphia fans should remember him. He's got a Super Bowl ring from last year's team. He returned 2 of those 5 turnovers for touchdowns. He had a pick 6, and one of the fumbles was a strip fumble, scoop, and score for him. So great game by Isaiah Rodgers. Record-breaking game, actually, I believe. But yeah, they looked really, really good, especially after that embarrassing loss the week before. Now for the Steelers, Aaron Rodgers. He threw 2 touchdown passes, but he got nothing from his run game. You know, man, Rodgers needs his run game. He also had to rely on his defense to keep them in the game, and ultimately he did pull the damn thing out. They racked up 5 sacks, his defense did, racked up 5 sacks, 6 tackles for loss, and 5 forced turnovers. That helped quite a bit, kept the ball in Aaron's hands, and he pulled out the 21-14 win. I don't think if the Vikings are going to allow them to get that running game going. It really hasn't been going all season yet. So I'm going to take the Vikings.
Going with the bias, going with the Vikings. Right. Wentz over Rodgers. Who would have thunk it? All right, Benny. Panthers at Patriots. Bias plus score of 8.5 favors the Panthers. Ah. So the Panthers are ranked 15th in average net points, and the Patriots are ranked 20th. Panthers are +3 in average net points, and the Patriots are -2.7. So you got about a 5.7 differential there going in the favor of the Panthers just based on net points. And the Patriots also have a worse average turnover differential at -1 versus the Panthers at -0.3. So Panthers are putting up 20 points a game, holding teams to 17. Patriots are putting up 21 points per game, holding teams to 19. So this should be an interesting contest.
Mm. Yeah, I would say so. It looks like it's shaping up to be that way. We just talked about the Steelers Patriots game, so let's look at it from the Steelers point, from the Patriots point of view, rather. Um, in my estimation, the Steelers didn't just beat the Patriots up there in Foxborough. Patriots were at home. So much as the Patriots actually beat themselves. Just like the Bengals, they turned the ball over 5 times. They had 4 fumbles, 1 interception. And even still, the score was tied 14 all halfway through the fourth quarter. Opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to win games. You got to come through. Drake May got sacked, fumbled. Steelers turned that into a go-ahead touchdown, and their defense stopped the Patriots on downs for the win. Bam. That's how that went. So again, hang around the whole game till the fourth quarter and then try to pull it out. Always works out for somebody. It doesn't work out so well for somebody else, especially the home team, where Drake May, the quarterback, was in fact looking pretty good, but they lost that game. Now the Panthers were home for the first time this season, and they treated their fans to their first win of the season. Bryce Young wasn't great, but he played mistake-free ball, and they scored once through the air, once on the ground. The defense forced 3 turnovers, and cornerback Charles Smith Wade scored on a pick six. Also, the kicker Ryan Fitzgerald kicked 3 field goals. That was enough to pull out the win for the Panthers. I believe the Panthers, feeling good about themselves, will go to New England and beat the Patriots.
All right. In syncopation with the bias. Let's go. Let's go. How about Browns at Lions? Bias plus score of 23.6 favors the Lions. And Benny, watching the Lions and seeing that we're what I call the end of the second preseason, definitely want to go back and when we talk about them next week and take another look at these coordinators because some of these coordinators are showing off a little bit. Guys that we didn't expect, we didn't know what to expect from them, coming out like these Lions in a what was that? A triple back I formation.
I'm all over it.
So, amazing, amazing. And then the Browns, I'll let you talk about what they did, but that defense is ridiculous. So the Browns are ranked 26 in average net points, while the Lions are ranked fourth because the Browns are -7.3 and the Lions are +8.3. Lions are second in scoring and 23rd on defense, whereas the Browns are 30th in scoring and 18th on defense. So things should look good. The Lions have shown some flexibility. They know how to defend a running quarterback like Lamar, and I'm sure they get an opportunity against a pocket quarterback like Flacco. Could be fun. So the bias favors the Lions. Benny, what about you?
All right, we'll talk about the Browns first. The Browns pulled off the biggest upset of the season, in my estimation, so far, beating the Green Bay Packers in Cleveland. Funny thing is, they didn't score their first points until the fourth quarter. How crazy is that? But the defense kept Green Bay's offense under wraps. They picked off Jordan Love. They sacked him 5 times. They had 6 tackles for loss. They also slowed down the Packers' run game to a crawl. Down 10-0, though. Andre Schmidt kicked a field goal with 3:38 left in regulation. Then Love got picked off by safety Grant Delpit. Running back Quinshawn Judkins, who finally signed his contract after having some troubles in the offseason, ran it in from 1 yard out. That tied it up at 10, keeping it tight, playing great defense. Then they blocked a Green Bay field goal attempt, and Schmidt nailed a 55-yarder of his own for the win as time expired, pulling out a 13-10 victory. Oh, boy. Now, before we talk about the Lions, I want to remind everybody, last week, now this is what I meant by I'm all over it with these coordinators. Last week, before talking about the Colts, I gave a shout out to head coach and play caller Shane Steichen for the Colts. This week, before I talk about the Lions, I want to give a shout out to their OC, John Morton. I also want to give a shout out to their DC, Kelvin Shepard, who I wasn't quite focused in on until I saw that performance down in Baltimore. Extremely disciplined, extremely smart. Run fits were perfect. Nobody got their ankles broke by Lamar. Nobody jumped too soon on a pump fake. Nobody dove late and missed. These guys were super disciplined. I got to give that to Kelvin Shepard. He's the guy with the baseball cap and the long locks. He's their DC. Great job by both of these guys. Now, John Morton caught a lot of flack after they lost the first game to the Packers, and they only scored 13 points. Now you want to talk about bounce back? They put 52 on Ben Johnson's Bears last week, and they strolled into Baltimore and put up 38. They bullied the Ravens with 224 yards and 4 touchdowns, all on the ground, on 38 carries total, mostly Gibbs and Montgomery. Couple that with a run-stopping defense and a disciplined pass rush, they sacked Lamar 7 times. When does Lamar Jackson get sacked? 7 times. The great escape artist. They collected 6 tackles for loss. Poor Derrick Henry. And, every time I say Derrick Henry's name, I get a little, I'm sorry. And they won the game 38-30. Now, so it was a game, but the second half, they really, really showed off. I got to go with the Lions on this one.
You know, one of the things I thought was so interesting about watching that game, because you had on one side the one super duper running back, Derrick Henry, right? King Henry. On the other side, you had 2, I don't know, awesome running backs.
Right?
The difference to me seemed to be quickness. Their backs are quick. Derrick Henry isn't necessarily quick anymore. If you give him a hole and he breaks through, he's a train wreck and he'll outrun you.
Yeah, he's what you call a downhill runner.
Yeah, but these guys, man, are in and out up the middle, much less. And then the lines, offensive line, defensive line for the Lions, like in there dominating. So that was somewhat of a surprise. And I know the Ravens, I believe, was favored in that particular game. Like I said, the Lions are second in scoring, averaging 34.3 points per game. So if you can score 34 points a game, you should win most of your games. So you're going with the bias and going with the Lions, right?
Yes. Yes.
Saints at Bills. Well, here we go with another nice big bias. 28.6 favoring the Bills. And let me tell you, the Bills ain't no joke, man. Even on the game, man, I'm playing these guys, and it's always somebody that does something like extra, and I wind up losing. As I'm looking at the Saints, they're ranked 32nd. I do believe that is called last place in average net points at minus 14.3, as opposed to the Bills are in third place, averaging plus 10.3. So that's a pretty wide differential in favor of the Bills. Bills in fourth place in scoring, 20th place in defense. Saints in 29th place in scoring, 25th place in defense. And the Bills even have a turnover differential +1, whereas the Saints are at least breaking even at 0. So I don't know what the Saints would have to do to go into Buffalo and beat those Bills. But hey, what do you got?
Well, I can tell you what they don't want to do. The same thing they did last week. They traveled to Seattle, they struggled offensively, and they generally couldn't get out of their own way. It took them till the fourth quarter to put together a touchdown drive, and they committed 11 penalties. That ain't going to get it. Now, Buffalo and the Dolphins last week. Okay, when I saw the Dolphins had to travel to Buffalo, I think even during the show last week, I said this one should be a no-brainer win for the Bills. They didn't actually put the hammer down until the fourth quarter, though. But there was little to no doubt about this one. The Bills are the better team. They won 31-21. Dolphins did put up a little bit of a fight, though. Yeah, the Saints won't have anything for the Bills. I got to go with the Bills.
Kind of short and sweet there, eh, Benny?
Yeah.
All right, Benny's going with the bias, going with the Bills. Let's look at Titans at Texans. Bias plus score of 10 favors the Texans. Two quarterbacks that we like. Both of them are a bit troubled this year. Titans are 31st in net points, and the Texans are 21st. They're both in the negative, about 10 points apart. Titans at -14.3 and Texans at -4.3. Texans are last in scoring, only putting up 12.7 points per game. Texans doing a little bit better, putting up 17. Texans are 30th in defense, allowing 31.3 points per game, and the Texans are 28th, allowing 17 points per game. This is kind of like a basement bowl right now for the state of Texas. All right, what do you got on this?
Yeah. Both teams are 0-3, both having some hard luck. Ooh-wee. Well, anyway, Titans got dominated at home by Indianapolis. It was Indianapolis' first game on the road. They went down there and just handled them boys. Head coach Brian Callahan's seat cannot get any hotter than it is right now. They were down 27-6 before they scored their first touchdown. That was in the third quarter. And they were down 34-13 before they scored again in garbage time. Lost cause there. Now, the Houston Texans are in trouble, no doubt about it. This is a little bit surprising to me. I didn't think they were going to be gangbusters, but I thought they'd be much better than they were last year. Doesn't look that way so far. I'm going to keep this analysis real simple. Here's their first 10 possessions. First quarter, punt, missed field goal, punt. Second quarter, field goal, punt, end of the half. Third quarter, punt, interception, punt, touchdown, fumble, interception. They lost to Jacksonville 17-10. But I think they'll win at home against the Titans. I'm going to take the Texans.
Oh, yeah. And is Cam even playing? Cam Ward, quarterback for the Titans?
Yeah, he's playing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
He's playing. Who else they going to play?
Well, I thought he was injured.
Nah, ain't nothing wrong with him.
All
He's
right.
probably banged up. His pride's probably injured.
All right. Going with the bias, going with the Texans. Eagles at Buccaneers. Bias plus score of 2.7 favors the Eagles. Benny going down to Tampa. Let's see now. As far as the numbers are concerned, Eagles are 11th in net points. Considering that they're undefeated, that's a very interesting stat. They're winning by an average net points or an average win margin of 4.7 points. The Buccaneers are 16th, and they're winning by an average of 2 points. Eagles are 8th in offense, and the Bucs are 12th. Eagles are 21st on defense, and the Bucks are 17th. So that little bit of differential in the net.
I'm sorry, the Eagles are where in defense?
The Eagles are ranked 15th, giving up 21 points per game.
And the Bucks are
Ranked 24th, giving up 17 points per game.
okay.
Okay. Yeah. Not a big
That,
difference. A couple points is a couple points, and
yeah,
tied and turnover differential at 0.7.
tied turnover differential. Okay. All right. Cool. So let's see. For third game in a row, 3 games in a row, the opposing team made a real strong effort to try and contain Saquon Barkley while playing the Eagles. At the same time, when you try to contain Saquon Barkley, that means you're trying to challenge Jalen Hurts to beat you. If you got to make a choice against a team that's on paper the most talented team in the league, I guess that's what you got to do, and that's what everybody's been doing. That's what the Rams did. For the third game in a row, Jalen put the offense on his back and brought the team back from a 26-7 deficit in the third quarter and into position to pull out a stunning last-second victory. He threw for 204 yards and 3 touchdowns in the second half alone, making it a priority to get the ball to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. After the third touchdown pass, which went to Smith, the Birds had a 27-26 lead, but the Rams moved within field goal range and lined up for the game-winning chip shot field goal. I mean, this game was over, bro. It was over until 6'6", 336-pound Jordan Davis leaps in the air, blocks the kick, scoops it up, and rolls like 60-something yards to score. So, like they say, good teams win, great teams cover the spread. They did both, 33-26. People were counting their money already, man. If he blocks that and falls on it, people are counting their money. He runs it back, crazy. Now, Buccaneers.
Did you have him on your fantasy team?
No, I don't have the Eagles defense. That would have been points for the Eagles defense.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but I didn't have them. The Bucks are 3-0. And Baker Mayfield has brought the team from behind and helped produce the winning points in all 3 of their wins. On Sunday, they defeated the Jets at home 29-27. Baker passed for 233 yards and 1 touchdown, and the ground game was solid with 44 yards from Baker and another 78 yards between Bucky Irvin and Rashad White. So that was a solid run game. Baker threw the ball well. The Jets kept it competitive, however, but the Bucs defense did their part with 4 sacks, a whopping 9 tackles for loss. Jets run game never got going, and a pick 6 by cornerback Jamal Dean. A blocked field goal, scoop and score, put New York ahead 27-26 with a minute 49 left in regulation, and had head coach Aaron Glenn marching down the field and doing all kinds of crazy gyrations, thinking he had the game won. But they left too much time on the clock. Baker led a 7-play, 48-yard drive to set up Chase McLaughlin's game-winning kick. And that was the end of that. Bucks are at home. Fire the cannons. I'm taking the Bucks to win this one.
Hey, Ben.
Yes.
Did you hear about the return of Desmond, the tush-push Terminator?
They brought him back?
No. The big boy that they had on the defensive line, he was too heavy for the Tampa Bay
I know who you're talking about. I said, did they bring him back?
Yeah, I thought you said running back. I'm sorry. Yes, they brought him back. So it's going to be interesting how they attempt to do it. I still believe that one of the keys is to get the ball out of Jalen's hands while he's body surfing, because he's not on the ground. And if you can get the ball from him before that ball crosses over him, you can beat the power. But that's going to be an interesting game because Tampa Bay always seems to have the Eagles number. They always give the Eagles a tough way to go. So awesome. All right, let's move on to the next game. You're going with the bias.
Going with the Bucks.
Oh, you're going
Going
with the
against the
Bucks. You're
bias,
going against the
going with the Bucks.
bias. Oh my God. Where's Desi at?
She's right
Hey,
here.
Desi. Okay. One against this is one of the first ones you went against the bias so far.
Raise the flag and fire the cannon.
Raise the flags and fire the cannons.
Fire the cannons. Oh my goodness. All right. Chargers at Giants. Your New York Football Giants. Bias plus score 19.8 favors the Chargers. And Benny finally got his wish. Dart is starting.
Is this a 1 o'clock game?
Is this? Oh, you worrying about your West Coast to East
I'm not
Coast?
worrying about nothing. I just want to know, is it a 1 o'clock game?
I'll double check. Go ahead, though.
Yes, check on that for me, would you please? Chargers beat Denver last week 23-20 to go 3-0 with all three games versus AFC West opponents. That's a little odd that their first three games would be all in the division. But they won all three, so that firmly puts them in first place in their division. They were up 10-7 at the half, but Denver scored on the first possession of the third quarter and held the lead until Herbert hit Keenan Allen to tie the game at 20. The defense forced a Denver 3-and-out, and Herbert took the offense down for a last-minute drive to set up Cameron Dicker for the game-winning field goal as time expired. Now, as far as the Giants are concerned, rookie running back Cam Scatterboo was the only bright spot for my Giants in their loss to Kansas City last Sunday night. He ran 10 times for 60 yards and a touchdown. Now, you're the math guy. I'm not good at math, but I'm pretty sure that's 6 yards per carry, and that's great. Russell Wilson, on the other hand, looked like a shot fighter. He threw the ball to the goalpost. What the heck was he doing? He was throwing the ball all over the place. He threw one down through the tunnel one time. He threw the ball everywhere except the guys with the blue jerseys on. In fact, he threw two to the other team, and he's going to be replaced this week by first-round draft pick Jackson Dart. I am very excited for the Jackson Dart era to begin. I didn't think it was going to start this soon. I kind of had week 6 in my mind, but Russell's really looking bad. He only looked good in one game, and in week 1 he looked bad. Last week he looked really bad. So it's kind of crazy, man. But yeah, welcome Jackson Dart. Let's see what happens. Chargers are going to be a tough out, though. But if it's a 1 o'clock game and they're coming from the West Coast, guess what I'm going to do?
Yes, it
I'm
is.
going to lean on that, and I'm going to pick Jackson Dart to beat the Los Angeles Chargers at home in MetLife.
And yes, it is at the Giants. So there's that 1 o'clock game. So apparently, in that game in Ireland, one team is an hour extra further away in the time zone, and they were trying to get Roger, Goodall, the CEO of the NFL, to let them leave an hour earlier so that they would have that extra hour. But that's how hard people are playing these time differentials. Goodell told them no. So the one team gets a little bit extra. But
Wait a minute.
that's
Wait
how
a
we're playing
minute.
these time differences now.
Wait a minute. They're dictating the time you can leave the ground.
You can leave, yeah. Yeah, your takeoff time. NFL's dictating that.
I understand the day, but the
Articles on
time,
the is on the our Facebook page. We can take a look at it when we finish up with this.
that's ridiculous.
But anywho, going with your Giants, going against the bias big time. Oh, see me Christmas. All right, Benny. Commanders at Falcons, bias plus score of 11 favors. Say it with me, Benny, with your chest. The Commanders gonna go down there and handle them Falcons. Commanders are ranked 6th in net points. Falcons are ranked 23rd in net points. Commanders are 7th in offense, putting up 26.7 points per game. The Falcons are ranked 31st, next to last, only scoring 14 points per game. So The fact that they're close on defense with the Commanders at 12th and the Falcons at 13th. The only difference is Falcons were giving up an extra 0.7 points per game. And on turnover differential, Falcons actually have the favor on that at 0.3, with the Commanders being minus 0.3. So that's really not a big differential. Long story short, Commanders at Falcons. The bias favors the Commanders.
Okay, Commanders are on the road. They got a lot of injuries, especially on offense. Other guys have to step up. That's exactly what they did on Sunday. It's the only way they're going to be able to compete to make up for Jaden Daniels, McLaurin, Eckler, starting players like that being out. So that's what they had to do. It actually happened at home against the Raiders. In fact, it was actually all hands on deck. Every running back darn near that they got on that team played. Marcus Mariota played at quarterback. He did lose a fumble, but for the most part, he managed a pretty conservative game plan. Threw for 207. He threw a touchdown pass. And along with three running backs plus Debo, Mariota, three running backs plus Debo all contributed to a strong 201 yards on the ground, time of possession, grinded out yards, and three touchdowns on the ground. So very good job by the Commanders putting together a type of game plan that they needed to with the players that they had to pull out the victory. Now, again, I didn't see this one coming at all. I thought the Falcons were going to go into Carolina and dominate the Panthers, but instead we saw the exact opposite. Crazy how Atlanta dominated the Vikings week 2, which also, by the way, I believe the numbers they put up in that game have skewed. Yeah, we haven't talked about the skew this season yet. They've skewed some of their numbers, making it look like they're closer to their opponent this weekend than they actually are. But anyway, week 2, they did that, and they got dominated by the Panthers this past Sunday. Michael Penix Jr. never took a sack, but he was pressured into a bunch of bad throws. He threw 2 interceptions, one of which was a pick 6, and he looked completely lost out there. Eventually, he got benched for the highest paid backup in the league, your guy, Kirk Cousins. And the Falcons ended up getting shut out by the Carolina Panthers. Division win for them. Good job. Yeah, I'm gonna consider the skew very strongly against this. And even though the Falcons are at home, I'm gonna go with the Commanders.
The skew. We haven't talked about it. Okay, I'm glad you finally brought it up. Going with the bias, going with the, come on, Benny. The Commanders. I'll say that right, man. All right. Colts. Oh my goodness. At Rams. Bias plus score 17.3 favors the Colts, Benny. The Colts. Guess what? Number 1 in net points at plus 15.7. Number 3 in scoring at 34.3 points per game. And surprisingly, number 11 on defense, only allowing 18.7 points per game. And second in turnover differential at plus 1.7.
That's big.
So, holy mackerel. Do the Rams rank 12th, only at plus 4 net points, and 11th in scoring at only 24 points, and 14th on defense, allowing 20 points per game, and having just got shocked by the monkey in Philadelphia? I will say this much, though. Got a chance to watch, what's his name? Jonathan, the running back?
Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor for the Colts. Man, that boy looks like he's in top form, man. Top form, telling you. So it's all working for the Colts right now. What do you got?
So as I mentioned before, when I was talking about the Titans, the Colts went to Nashville for their first road game. People were a little worried. They wanted to see how Daniel Jones was going to play outdoors. But they handled the horrible Titans pretty well. Colin Cowherd is now calling him Danny Dollars, not Danny Dimes no more. It's Danny Dollars. He was his usual efficient self. He threw for 228 yards and 1 touchdown. The aforementioned Jonathan Taylor was brutal, running for 102 on 17 carries and scoring 3 touchdowns all on the ground. Kenny Moore opened the scoring of the game with a pick six, and the defense sacked Cam Ward 4 times and had a big 8 tackles for loss. Oh boy, they're looking great. Now the Rams, who have not been looking bad, they rolled into Philly, put together an almost perfect first half of football. They built a 26-7 lead by the beginning of the third quarter, and they held Saquon Barkley to 13 rushing yards. But the Eagles' passing game picked up the pace in the second half as they came roaring back and eventually put a 1-point lead up with 1:48 left. That left plenty of time for Matt Stafford and the Rams to drive into field goal range for a chip shot game winner. But D-tackle Jordan Davis, as I spoke of earlier, blocked the kick, picked it up, and rumbled back with it 61 yards for a touchdown to end the game. I must say this. I hate talking about the Eagles now because their fans seem to be on such edge. Like if you ask them a question about their team, it's like they just fly off the handle, and instead of just answering the question that you asked them in football terms, hopefully, they can't seem to be able to do that. They want to start talking about whatever happens to be on their mind. Like, how come we did this and we did that, and it's getting difficult, man. It's getting difficult. They're kind of taking the fun out of it. But anyway, Rams are at home. Colts looking good. Rams not looking bad, but just not as good as the Colts. Yeah, I got to go with the Colts in this one.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one right there.
I'm sorry I went off on that little Eagle rant there. I just it's
Well,
not even fun.
I actually added an article to the whole Tush Push is boring thing that I put out, and it was quoting Drew Brees as basically saying the Eagles' offense was, quote, boring. So
Yeah, but here's the crazy thing. Every obstacle that's been put in front of them to combat this boring offense, they've conquered it. They've proven so far that no matter what another team throws at them, they can figure out a way to beat it. You got to give them credit for that. But giving them credit to their fans is hard. They don't want you to give them credit. They want you to talk bad about them. It fuels them somehow. I don't understand. I'm just a football fan admiring how well they're doing, and they're acting like I'm saying they're trash, and I'm not. It's crazy. It's crazy.
all right, there you go. You're not. It's crazy.
No, I'm not.
And I wasn't saying that they're anything but, they're not a really great team, and, their effectiveness and all of that, it is. It's just that through the eyes of 31 other franchises, it's like watching paint dry sometimes. So they don't have that built-in excitement of their team winning and, all that goes along with that.
And
so they're just
that's
looking for
all
football.
good.
If you're
That's all
just
good.
looking
But
for football,
even I know
that's what
everybody who knows football knows style points don't count in the NFL like they do in college. So again, I'm not saying they're a bad team because they could be boring or whatever. That doesn't mean they're a bad team. They win. Can't crap on that.
Let's move on. Ben's going with the Colts, going with the bias. Uh-oh. Jaguars at my beloved 49ers. Can you believe that the bias plus score 11 favors the Jaguars? Sheesh.
I can believe it, but not 11. Oh, yeah, you know what? I can believe it. Where go ahead. I'm gonna wait for you to say the numbers and then you'll know why.
Jaguars are ranked ninth in net points
Mm-hmm.
at plus 6.3.
Mm-hmm.
My Niners are ranked 14th at plus 3.3.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's only a 3.3 average net point differential.
Right.
But the
But
Jaguars are plus 1.7 in turnover differential, and my Niners are minus 0.3. So when that all calculates out, it really pumps up that bias plus, and that's how you get to 11, favoring the Jaguars. But they got to come out west. They got to come see us. We
where are the
got so many
Jaguars
people
ranked
hurt.
defensively?
I hear Pearsall now doesn't look like he's going to play. Juan Jennings doesn't look like
What?
he's going to play.
Wait, whoa. Slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. Pearsall doesn't look like he's going to play.
That's what I'm reading.
You reading that now?
Yeah.
What's wrong with him? His knee?
Specifically, I don't know. His knee angle, something's wrong with him. Um, so but we got our newfound tight end. We still have our fullback. We still have McCaffrey. We still got what's his name that played with, I think it was the Chiefs, um running back. I mean, excuse me, wide receiver. So we got some talent, and I think we got our other running back. So I think depending on the plan that we're going to be in this game, and then it'll be a matter of turnovers or something like that. What do you
Okay. Well, I'm going to say this. I heard he was a little, Ricky Pearsall was a little dinged. So I did a little bit of research. And from what I'm hearing, he's got a little knee soreness. He's going to practice near the end of the week and he'll be fine to go. I believe that's true. He finished the game. I don't
Well,
remember.
3 hours ago, 49ers say Pearsall has been added to the injury report.
That doesn't mean he's not going to play. They do that every week.
Okay.
He'll play. Fear not. 2-0 Niners look like a trauma center. 2-0. I don't know why I put it there. 3-0. Little typo there in your notes, Ben. The 3-0 Niners look like a trauma center. Yeah, that they do. Brock Purdy wasn't ready to go last week. Juwan Jennings, who played through injury the week before, couldn't go. Brandon Ayuk is looking at maybe week 6 coming back. George Kittle is down at least till week 6. But with a hammy, who knows? Oh, yeah. To add insult to injury, they lost Nick Bosa in the first quarter to a season ending ACL injury. So, what did they do? Well, kicker Eddie Pinheiro just signed off of his couch watching TV, made a couple of field goals, mixed in a few punts. Mac Jones led a touchdown drive in the fourth quarter. That put him up 13-6. Real quick, they gave up a touchdown, threw an interception, and got a holding penalty in the end zone for safety. So it looked like they didn't want to win the game after they came roaring back. Then the defense stepped up. They played pretty well for most of the game. They stopped Arizona when they had a chance to run the clock out, got the ball back, and Mac moved them 63 yards in 10 plays to set up Pinheiro for the game-winning field goal. Job well done by the 49ers. Now, Jacksonville was in a 10-10 defensive battle with Houston at home until 3:58 left in regulation. Oh, God. Nico Collins gets hit. He fumbles, turns the ball over to the Jags. Then on a 7-play, 83-yard drive, and after Trevor Lawrence hit Brian Thomas Jr. for a big 46-yard grab, and Brian Thomas Jr. is off to a really slow start in fantasy too. I hope this turns him on. And that pass was completed with an all-out Houston blitz. So kudos to Trevor Lawrence for getting it off. Travis Etienne then took the ball, ran it in from 10 yards out, and that was the winning score in that. So, do me a favor. The Jaguars' defensive rank is
Defensively, the Jaguars are ranked fifth, giving up 17 points a game. My
fifth.
Niners are ranked third, giving up 16.3. So they're really close defensively.
Right. But they're close because of something that the Jaguars aren't necessarily known for, but are doing really well this year, and that's play defense. That's the difference there. Uh, is that a 1 o'clock game?
Probably not. Most of my Niners games are 4 o'clock games.
Oh, that's right. That's a West Coast. My bad. They're home. Since they're home, I'm going to go with the Niners against the Bucs.
Going with the bias, going with my beloved 49ers. All right. Bears at Raiders. Bias plus score 5.3 favors the Bears, Benny. The Bears are going to see that face from, what you call him again? Quarterback for the Raiders, Gino. Bears are ranked 22nd in net points. Raiders are ranked 25th. Bears are ranked 9th on offense. Raiders are ranked 26th. Bears are ranked 31st on defense. Raiders are ranked 21st. And the Bears are a little bit better in terms of turnover differential. So not a big differential. Bears are feeling themselves a little bit after their win over the boys, but I'll let you talk a little bit more about that.
So Raiders will be at home. Offensively, they actually played pretty well against the Commanders. They lost the game 41-24, but they weren't bad. Gino threw for 289. It's pretty big numbers. Threw for 3 touchdowns. Did a number on the Commanders secondary. Pretty much had his way. For a team that's supposed to be devoted to the run game, they're still having a little trouble getting Ashton Genty off. He did grind out 63 yards on 17 carries, but the difference was defensively, the Raiders just didn't show up. They had 1 takeaway, but they only recorded 1 sack. And they didn't tackle very well at all during the entire game. And, when I spoke about the Commanders and Mariota and the run game, that was the telling blow. They kept it on the ground. They ran hard. And the Raiders just act like they didn't know how to tackle anybody. It's kind of crazy. Now, for the Bears, this was the game the Bears fans have been waiting for. Not only was it a 31-14 win over Dallas, but Caleb Williams actually looked like what a team hopes the number 1 overall pick in the draft would look like. I got to give you his numbers. He was 19 of 28, pretty efficient, 298 yards, 2 yards off of a 300-yard game. He threw 4 touchdowns, and he had 0 turnovers. This is what Ben Johnson sees in his dreams when he goes to bed at night. Defensively, they had 2 sacks and 4 takeaways. Nice win by the Bears. I think they're going to ride this one out to Vegas. I'm going to go with the Bears to beat the Raiders.
All right, going with the Bears, going with the bias. Let me see something here now. That is a 4 o'clock game. We then move into the Sunday night game. All right, Benny, I had to take a double take here because I wasn't sure if this was going to be like a prime time Sunday night, Monday night game, but this is scheduled for 4:25 p.m. So it's the early evening game. Ravens at Chiefs going into the Kansas City. Bias plus score, however, is 2.5 favoring the Ravens. Now, we know how much trouble the Ravens have with Chiefs, especially in the postseason. But up to this point, Ravens are ranked 10th in net points at +5. Chiefs are ranked 17th at 1.3. So that means the Chiefs are only winning by an average of 1.3 points per game. Ravens got the number 1 offense, putting up 37 points per game, Benny, but they got the 31st defense. Excuse me. They got the 32nd defense.
Wait. They have the number 1 offense.
Let me say it right. They have the number 1 offense, scoring 37 points per game. They have the 31st rated defense, allowing 32 points per game.
Oh my God.
Ergo, your net points of 5, and turnover differential is no big deal. Chiefs, 22nd on offense, putting up 20 points per game, 9th on defense, only allowing 18.7 points per game. So they're in the trenches. There you go. Ravens, Chiefs. Ravens are favored. Who you got?
So I'm going to keep this one short here because I don't think you're going to have the same outcome you've been having in the playoffs lately. Chiefs, I already talked about how they beat the Giants. That score was 22-9. It wasn't a huge win, but it was a win nonetheless. But the Giants played really poorly. Chiefs are kind of like the Niners. They got a lot of injuries, and they have a lot of injuries to main people, especially some offensive line injuries that have really slowed down their running game. They can't they haven't been able to run the ball effectively yet. And pretty much the whole team is on Patrick Mahomes' back. I don't know that he'll be able to carry this much longer. Now, I believe Rashee Rice should be coming back from suspension soon. And Xavier Worthy was supposed to be coming back from a knee injury, but they were expecting him back last week, and that didn't pan out. So I don't know if he's going to make it back this week or not. Once he gets some more weapons, he should be okay. But he's been leaning on guys like Tyquan Thornton, who's really come up big. If you haven't heard of Tyquan Thornton, he's their deep threat right now because Hollywood Brown all of a sudden can't seem to get open anymore. But yeah, until they get Rashee Rice and Worthy back, they won't be at full strength. Now, the Ravens lost 38-30 to the Lions, and I talked about how strong the Lions were, how disciplined their pass rush was, and how they stifled the Ravens' running game. But again, like we talk about week after week, part of the problem is the Ravens are stifling the Ravens' running game. Derrick Henry had 12 carries, bro. 12 carries. How many times do I have to tell these guys? If he don't get 25 touches, they're not going to win. They're not going to win. 12 carries. And that game was close. That game was darn near down to the wire. They were never so far behind that they needed to abandon the run and put everything on Lamar. And you saw what happened. He got sacked 7 times, falling back to pass when he shouldn't have had to, when they could have just pummeled them and eventually scored or at least got in range for more field goals and try to get stuff points on the board and control the clock. But they didn't do it. If they don't learn this soon, I don't know what the heck is going to happen. But the good thing for the Ravens is, and I believe they're going to beat the Chiefs in this game, I don't think the Chiefs can stand up to Derrick Henry, even if he carries the ball 8 times. So, I'm going to go with the Ravens. But they got to do better, man. Ravens have got to do better. They got to be smarter than that.
I tell you, I tell you. And what's going on with Derrick Henry with the fumbling? Is he? I know he runs kind of straight up, and
He had 1 fumble per game, right?
difficult. Say it again.
Yeah, he's had 1 fumble in each game.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
before this year, it was like 2 fumbles for his career.
right. Okay, so if he had like very few fumbles over his entire career, and then he has three weeks in a row, that seems like a really big deal. And I'm not saying that it's not a big deal. I can't remember the circumstances of the previous 2. I should go back and take a look at that. But it was a very well placed punch out that got him last Sunday. So that happens.
All right, that happens. S
Punch
happens.
out from behind when you don't see the guy. The only way you can prevent that, and you're right, sometimes he does run, well, most of the time, he does run straight up. And if you're a straight up and down runner, you got to hold it high and tight. He does not hold the ball high and tight.
Right.
And that's the major problem, if you ask me. If you hold it high and tight, the chances of getting it punched out, even from behind, are limited. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it's a lot harder to do. So
Either that or when you're going through traffic, you're going to have to do the old hands over hand on the ball.
yeah, it looked like he was like wrestling himself loose from a tackle. And then the guy came from behind that he didn't see. And just so, sometimes they'll go like this, and then that leaves all this open for somebody to punch it out from behind. So,
Well,
but again,
he's a target, no doubt. But you're going with the bias, going with the Ravens.
yes, sir.
All right. Well, we have 3 games left, Benny. We have The Sunday night game, Packers at Cowboys. Bias plus score of 20.7 favors the Packers. Packers are ranked 8th in net points. Cowboys are ranked 24th. So Cowboys are -6 and Packers are plus 6.7 in net points. Packers 18th on offense, 21.3 points per game. Cowboys are 10th at 24.7. Packers are 14th on defense, giving up 14 points per game. Oh, I smell something stinky. Cowboys are 27th on defense, giving up 30.7 points per game, and they're in the negative on average turnover differential. Ergo, bias plus favors the Packers.
As it should.
Okay.
I
You
talked
say
about
so.
the Cowboys Bears game earlier in reference to the Bears. If you're looking from the Dallas side of things, it wasn't pretty. Dak got picked off 3 times, and the Cowboys secondary got shredded again. Seems to be a weekly thing right now. Things are not looking good for the Cowboys at all on either side of the ball. Not even a fair to middling run game. CD Lamb, I don't know if he's going to be back or not. I believe he's got a high ankle sprain, and he believes that he's going to try to be able to get back for this game, but it's not 100%. So we'll have to wait till the end of the week, see if he practices. As far as the Packers are concerned, I really didn't see this one coming either. Some of these games were really surprising to me. The Packers showed up in Cleveland. They got out coached and out physical by the Browns. Ooh, 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 ooh. If you get a chance to watch it over again on the network or wherever you see your replays of NFL games later on in the week, please watch this game. The Browns were all over these guys. Jordan Love was off his game completely anyway and didn't find the end zone until well into the third quarter. He got sacked 5 times. That certainly didn't help. The defense had trouble against the run, and they left themselves open for a late game comeback, which the Browns took full advantage of and beat them by 3 points, 13-10. So here's a team that looks like they're far better than the other team and simply just does not play well at all. I believe the Packers, however, will bounce back. I mean, at this point, playing the Cowboys is a get-right game. So we'll call it a get-right game or whatever. But, yeah, I got to go with the Packers.
Going with the bias. Going with the Packers. All righty, here you go. Okay, so let's see. That took us to Sunday night. We have 2 Monday night games. 2 of them. Jets at Dolphins. Bias plus score of 7.3 favors the Jets. That's the early game on Monday night. Jets are ranked 27th in net points. Dolphins are ranked 30th. So I'm not going to get into a whole bit, but it could be an interesting because they're both 2 teams that are in the same arena in terms of their competitive level at this particular point. So you got 2 bad teams.
That's a nice way of putting it.
There you go. There you go. And the bias is favoring the Jets. Jets, the only team I ever had a family to pay for. So who you got?
Oh, my goodness. Mm-mm-mm. Well, the Dolphins put up a pretty good fight for the first half of the road game against Buffalo. After that, the wheels kind of fell off and they lost 31-21. The Bills team just flat out better than them. That's a pretty easy one. So as far as the Jets are concerned, with Justin Fields still out in concussion protocol, Tyrod Taylor led the Jets into Tampa to play the Buccaneers. They got off to a really slow start, and they were down as much as 23-6 to begin the fourth quarter. Then all of a sudden, I don't know what happened. I don't know if the Bucs went to sleep or what, but the Jets scored 21 points in like 10 minutes. They got a Tyrod Taylor pass to Garrett Wilson. They got another Tyrod Taylor touchdown pass to Alan Lazard. They blocked a field goal, scooped and scored it. DM Will McDonald grabbed it, ran that in for a touchdown. And that actually put them up 27-26. But there was a minute 49 left. And good old Baker Mayfield drove the Bucs down the field. And McPherson kicked another field goal for the win. So slow first half, big second half for the Jets. Pretty good first half, bad second half for the Dolphins. Wow. I have absolutely no faith in the Dolphins. I'm sorry. I really don't. And I know they're going to be home. I'm going to go with the Jets. I hate going with the bias again, but I'm going to go with the Jets to win this one. I went with the bias almost every game.
Going with the Jets, Jets.
Yeah, almost.
Standard, yeah, man.
Yeah, I got a couple here.
Dolphins.
Okay.
On. That used to be my Niners East. Now I don't know. All right. That was the first of the early games. The second of the early games, well, okay. Bengals at Broncos. Bias plus score 16.3 favors the Broncos. Could be a get-right game for the Broncos. Bengals are ranked 29th in net points at -11. Broncos are 18th at plus 1.3. Nothing to write home about. The Bengals are 24th in scoring, only scoring 19.3 points per game. Broncos are 17th, again, pretty close. They're scoring 22.7. The Bengals are 26th on defense, giving up 30 points per game. And the Broncos, this is where they can set themselves apart. They're ranked 16th, only allowing 21.3 points per game. And they're an extra one turnover differential better than the Bengals. So that would be the pièce de résistance for week 4, Benny.
All right, well, Bengals look like crap in Minnesota. They got waxed 48-10. This one I should have seen coming, especially if with how careless Jake Browning's been with the ball lately. He was really loose with it against the Jaguars 2 weeks ago, and it's near impossible to win a game when you turn the ball over 5 times. I mean, that's just crazy. Now, the Broncos lost in the final seconds of a game for the second week in a row. So again, 2 weeks in a row, Broncos look like they're going for the win, and then somehow, some way, they end up losing it. This time, they lost 23-20 to the Chargers in the division. They were down 10-7 at the half. They fought back, held a 20-13 lead at 5:15 of the fourth quarter. Then the Chargers found the end zone again, tied the score at 20, and at 1:53, they had the ball and went 3 and out. And that was it. Chargers drove down the field, let the time almost expire, kicked the last second field goal. Bang. Take the Broncos. Bengals at Mile High. Nah, no way. Take the Broncos.
Yeah, going with that bias, going with the Broncos. Well, Benny, that wraps up the week that is coming. We have one piece of business that we always have to take a look at, and that is the Bias Plus Buster of the week for week 3, and that would be those Carolina Panthers.
As it should be. They earned it.
Bias Plus score of 61, which means they were really not favored, and they really put up a nice score. So there you go with the bias. This is, again, where we celebrate those who are on the, the non-favorite side, and when they win, we want to give them their kudos. So congratulations to the Carolina Panthers. All right, Benny, that wraps up the Bias Plus reports. Do you have anything you want to cover? Want to take a look at the page? Let's take a look at the page
Real quick.
All right, so we'll start with the undefeated list. We have the Bills, the Colts, the Chargers, the Eagles, the Niners, and the Buccaneers. So that's a six-person list right there. You got anything on that?
I don't know. Do you?
No.
No. Who's the best of those teams, do you think?
The Eagles.
Who's the second best? Why'd you say
Bills.
the Bills? I just told Desiree that's what you were going to say. Okay, cool. What's next?
Who's next?
No, I mean, what's next?
Oh, what's next? Let's go on up. Congratulations to Josh, fastest player in the NFL history to reach 300 career offensive touchdowns. So we'll give him a pat on the back. We have the brain trust for the Colts on the sideline, where one of the former, rest in peace, Ursay, where his daughter Carlisle was on the sideline wearing a headset, and it was sending everybody into conniptions there. Like they didn't know what to do with that. She's an owner. What's she doing with a headset? But apparently that's something that she's done all along before her dad passed. So
Correct. And I tell you the truth, to put it in a nutshell, she's like, we're paying these people a lot of money. I want to make sure that I'm fully aware of what the heck is going on out here. So she's listening to play calls. She's listening to communication between the coaches and the players, the coaches on the field and guys up in the box. She's on top of things. I think that's wonderful.
hey, look, she's been a part of this game, or this game's been a part of her life since she was born. So and she's seen a lot from the Colts side. The Falcons have announced that they fired wide receiver coach Ike Hilliard and are giving the passing game coordinators to T.J. Yates receiver coach duties as well. How you like that, Benny?
TJ Yates used to be the quarterback for the Texans and somebody else. So as a quarterback coach, I can see that. As a wide receiver coach, I think this is more of a situation I'm sorry, I think is a situation where whatever Ike Hilliard was doing was not satisfactory to the players or the OC or something. So it's more of we don't like what Hilliard was doing as opposed to we like TJ Yates for this job. I think he's just filling in. They'll get somebody else.
So Ben, Jackson Dart likes to have the one black line going down one side of his face. Makes him look, I don't know, makes him look tough or something. Actually,
Who else does that?
huh?
Who else does that?
I don't know who.
Aiden Hutchinson.
Ah, yeah, I can see that now. Yeah, yeah.
Who else does that?
I don't know who.
It's not the same line. It's cross under one eye.
Who's that?
Derrick Henry. Who else does that? It's one eye black under one eye.
Who?
Saquon Barkley. Come on, bro. Let's go. Get with it. Come
I
on. You got to know these things.
got to get up on my eye black, eh?
Yeah, you gotta know these things, man. These are trivia questions at the party after you get a few beers in you.
Oh, really?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's why I don't go to parties. Anywho, Drew Brees agreed with me as he said the Eagles' offense was boring. And from what I understand, the things that fans are looking for now, Eagles defense is not producing. They're producing wins for the Eagles fans, but in terms of spectators, they're missing something.
Wait a minute. Isn't Drew Brees going to be on TV soon?
Yes, he is.
He's joining a network show?
Yeah. I believe
Okay.
it's not First Take, is it? Could be one of those shows.
I don't know. They're grooming your boy Schrager to take that show over.
I don't like Schrager as a host. I believe
No?
Schrager's a walking fountain of knowledge. I think he gets wasted as a host. So, but he's not the guy that's going to start talking over top of everybody else. He let the other guys do all of that, and so I don't think we're getting all that Schrager could give us. This is
Well, he's on other shows too, so he gets a chance to get off.
uh, this is what I was telling you about the final decision about the Vikings and the Steelers. I think what happens is the Steelers being closer to the East Coast, they have a bit of they have a 1 hour advantage in terms of the time difference. So this is that article where they basically are talking about Goodell not allowing the Vikings to leave a little early, so that they would, be able to make up the difference in the time difference. Here you go. The game is in Dublin, which is 6 hours
I'm
ahead
always
of
up to something.
Minneapolis and 5 hours ahead of Pittsburgh. So that's where all of that is talked about. So, all right, I'm done.
I think
You got
that's
anything
crazy.
else?
I think the Players Association needs to bring that up in the next CBA.
Yeah, I think that, they should be allowed to have that differential, handled and allow them to leave an extra hour early or get an
Yeah,
extra hour early or something.
I can see kind of controlling the day that teams leave home to go somewhere, even within the states.
Right.
But restricting the time or dictating to them what time they're allowed to actually take off, I think that's a bit much.
Well, we'll see. Like you said, it probably will be something that the union should pick up next week and or next year rather and talk about in the next contract update. So, all right, Benny, I'm looking for the tush push Terminator this week. I want to see how he looks. Um, he's already getting some hate from the Eagle fans. The one guy said he's all fat. He's all fat. I'm like, this guy's a lot more athletic than what you might, give him credit for. Even though, yeah, he's big, but we'll see. It'll be an interesting experiment.
Okay.
All right. That's it for Ben and Barry on football. www.benandbarryonfootball.com. Peace out. Have a great one.
Later.